cheating on my husband made me a better mother, yo. Uh-huh. Really? Cheating on my husband made me a better mother. So cheating makes you a better parent, meaning you should cheat. It's interesting logic. By the way, correlation does not always equal causation. By the way, how does cheating on your husband make you a better parent? I got my rocks off. My hubby hasn't gotten my rocks off for years. So I was in a better mood when I was with my kitties. Oh, I see. You couldn't get your own rocks off? Couldn't get a dildo, a vibrator, or something? And take responsibility for your own orgasm, which is what feminists are always saying. I took responsibility for my own orgasm. Or even better, couldn't you have communicated to your husband that he's not doing it for you? And then tell him how he could do it for you? No. Oh, God forbid. That would be too mature. That would be too much like being an adult. No, I need to hide from my problems. I need to hide from my problems and, instead of solving them, compound them by cheating on my husband. Brilliant idea, sweetheart. Anyway, before I get into this story, I would like to ask those of you out there who like and appreciate raw, red-pilled truth delivered in the most abrasive, in-your-face way possible to please consider going and checking out my website, therealistphilosopher.com. That is therealistphilosopher.com. Go check it out. You'll find a lot of information about myself, why I do what I do, various services I offer outside of making this show. You'll find all my social media platforms at the top of the page in the menu, as well as a link to my BitChute channel where all of my content eventually gets posted. I suggest you follow me there. And also, if you really appreciate my work and you'd like to contribute to the making of more of it, I ask that you consider making a donation by clicking on that donate button. There's 3 ways you can donate. Number 1, my Bitcoin wallet address. Send me a little bit of Bitcoin. Whatever you feel like sending. Any amount's appreciated. Number 2, my Cash App address, which you can use to directly send me a donation. Or number 3, my Patreon, which is a per-piece platform. I make about 8 pieces a month, so you donate $1. It's like $8 a month, sort of like a subscription thing. 50 cents would be $4 a month. Any amount's greatly appreciated and helps. So go check that out, therealistphilosopher.com or therealistphilosopher.com/donate. Could really use your help. So, back to the story. Cheating on my hubby made me a better mother. Oh, well, then you were justified in cheating. Because something good came of it, right? Okay. Such interesting logic this woman uses. So, she starts by saying, my affair made me happier. Oh, well, then by all means, you should do it. Whatever makes you happy, do it. I love killing me those babies and eating their corpses. It makes me happy. Well, if it makes you happy, you should do more of it. It's such interesting logic. And by consequence, also my kids. Interesting line to draw. So banging some dude on the side who wasn't your husband made your kids happier. So interesting. I wonder how these kids would feel if they knew. Oh, man! Wow. While waiting in line at the supermarket to buy groceries with my 2 children, my younger son reached to hug me. Oh, how sweet. He pulled my cheek towards his lips and planted a kiss there. What a sweet boy you have, the checker said as she began to scan our items. What are you, lazy? You don't use the self-checkout? I don't use the checkout lane with the cashier. I use the self-checkout. Of course, I'm only one person, so there's not that much food. I guess it would be kind of awkward to check all your own items when you have a family of 4. But anyway, not to be outdone, my older son helped bag the groceries. Wow, future simp in the making. Probably just like Daddy. The checker gushed even more. Oh boy, old childless broad. I was astonished myself. This was not normal. So you chalked this up to you banging another dude? I'm not seeing the correlation, sweetheart. Usually my two sons, aged 8 and 9 respectively, were getting into mischief. Yeah, boys tend to do that, yeah. They broke down into tantrums as a daily occurrence. At 8 and 9? Aren't they a little old for tantrums? Don't you have tantrums with like 3 to 5-year-olds? Not 8 and 9-year-olds. Oh, boy. She must be a big old cunt for these kids to be breaking into tantrums. So you're less cunty because you're getting it. Yeah, you're getting it regular now, and you're getting sexually satisfied, so you're not as big a cunt. So they're also not as big a cunts. Okay? That's not because you're cheating, though. I mean, you could say, oh, it's improving my children's demeanor. Well, okay, but you could just as easily bang your husband and get the same kind of sexual satisfaction. No, that would require me to talk to him and give him hand. I deny him sex so I can have the hand. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, you couldn't solve the problem that way, honey. No, then he would have too much power in the relationship. Can't have that. No, just go bang another dude. Okay. Continue. They acted out more than they behaved. Yeah, because you're a bitch. Yeah, they act out because you're a cunt, of course. Yeah. Had my sons changed? Or was I the one who was different? Oh, man, I love the irrational justifications. Anyway, I had changed. After years of suffering in a miserable marriage, I decided to have an affair. Okay, number one, your marriage is miserable. Why didn't you just divorce him? I mean, it's not like you're going to get punished as a woman by divorcing a dude. You'll get half his shit and alimony and child support because we know you'll get the kids, so why wouldn't you just divorce him if you're miserable? No, I decided to stay in a loveless marriage and be miserable. Well, then you should have to suffer the consequences, right? Wrong! I was no longer the same person. I felt happier than I had in a long time. And that happiness was rubbing off on my sons. Oh, well, you know, if you're doing something that makes you happy and has that happiness rub off on your sons, God forbid you stop doing it, even though it's immoral and dishonest. Don't get me wrong. I'm not promoting cheating. So she's not promoting cheating as she promotes cheating. I'm not selling you a car. Here's your car. I'm not promoting cheating on one spouse as the solution to a couple's marriage problems, but you are. Because you're not divorcing your husband. And you're saying that staying in the marriage is only, at least in part, made possible by cheating on my husband. Hence, it solves the problem of my marriage being miserable. Hence, cheating on my husband is a solution to my marriage problems. That's exactly what you're saying. Even back then, I knew cheating was wrong. But that means you now know that it's wrong now as well, but you're still doing it. But it's a good thing, even though it's wrong. Well, then why is it wrong if it's a good thing? But being angry and depressed while enduring an unhappy marriage was also bad. Yeah, well, that's your choice. You could leave. Why don't you just leave? Why don't you just divorce him? Take all his shit. Why don't you just do that, honey? And then you could bang all the dudes you wanted and do so honestly. Nah, gotta lie. Be dishonest and dishonorable. Cheating was but a band-aid over the festering wound that was my marriage, and yet you're touting it as the solution to your miserable marriage, as well as using your kids and your relationship with them as a justification for cheating. Wow, what a horrible human being you are. You imagine using your own kids to justify your immoral behavior. Lovely. This woman has no scruples at all. Though, admittedly, an analgesic, my affair did provide a reprieve. It made me happier, and as a result, my kids happier, too. Well, whoop-de-fucking-do. And in that way, cheating on my husband made me a better mother. Ah, I see. My sons benefited from my improved mood. Why don't you just get a fucking hobby? Get some sex toys. I don't know. I mean, sweetheart. Oh, of course. It's always cheating, right? Yeah, that's how women supposedly find themselves and solve their problems. I need to find myself. I wanted to find myself so bad, so I banged 100 dudes. Why is it whenever women need to solve their problems or find themselves, it's always sexual, yet you're not supposed to view them as a collection of holes? Don't look at me as an object as I objectify myself. Ay, ay, ay. And in that way, cheating, yeah, made her a better mother. Yeah, right. Think of it this way. I'd been cranky for months on end. Your fault. Often in a dark mood. Your choice. I was easily annoyed at the slightest infraction on the part of my sons. You're a bitch. Maybe you just need to change. Maybe you need to stop taking out your anger and frustration on your kids, because that's wrong and that's evil. No, I have no self-control, no discipline. I need to get banged regular to be nice to people. You just can't choose to be nice? No, of course not. Because women are emotional beings. Suddenly my mood had brightened. I could sweat the small stuff and go into flow. Of course, my sons reacted to that. I can only imagine that was the reason why my boys helped push our cart to the car. That day at the market, they unloaded the bags into the trunk for me, then got into the car without me having to demand it. So let me get this straight. The only way you can be nice to your own kids is to fuck dudes other than your husband. Oh, banging other dudes. I'm failing to see the correlation here. I really, really am, okay? You can't choose to be nice to your own kids. For God's sake, why don't you just say to yourself, I love my kids. I should be nice to them. Why do you need to be banged by a big black cock to be nice to your kids? Because everybody else is responsible for my happiness and my actions. I have no agency. Oh, man. Within minutes of starting our drive home, though, my eldest son's device ran out of battery. He scooched as far as his seatbelt would allow him across the back seat to where his younger brother was seated. He wanted to watch his brother's device, but my youngest was none too happy about sharing his YouTube video. Gee, so your cheating didn't work? I love this. She has one interaction where her kids carry some bags and push a cart. And now she thinks that, look, my cheating. It's okay. It's all right because, look, it's making my sons better. And then, right when you get in the car, boom, all disappears. Did that ruin her belief, though, that her cheating was somehow a good, positive effect on her kids? Let's find out. An argument broke out, whereas a few weeks earlier, I would have screamed expletives into the back seat. I calmly told my sons, please stop arguing and just share with each other. Yeah, fuck that. That's the wrong advice, by the way. Why share? It's mine. It's my device. Fuck him. Piss off. Share. What a bunch of bullshit. Of course, women, they're all about trying to make peace and being collectivistic and all that. So, just share. Because they're natural socialists, right? Your son, my son, your brother wants to use your device. He has no device. You should let him, even though it's yours, not his. Yet, God forbid you teach these kids how reality actually works and that in the real world, people don't generally share. And you shouldn't either. And you shouldn't feel compelled to do so. Get a job. Buy your own fucking device. Then you can watch YouTube videos without having to use somebody else's. Oh, no, I can't teach them these realities of reality. Of course, that's because she doesn't know them either. Oh, boy. Something about my peaceful tone. The shock of me not being incensed. This stunned both of my children into halting their squabble. Yeah. My younger son let his older brother share his device. He shouldn't have. Or if he does, it should be his choice. If he doesn't want to, you shouldn't make him. My eldest quietly watched. Oh, boy, get him a book. Why don't you teach him to read and get him some good books so they can read? Well, of course, because, that would actually require her to spend some time with her kids to, engender a love of reading. Can't have that. All this because of the way I had reacted. Boy, she's desperate to find rationalizations, ain't she? What a difference from how I would have treated this scenario before my affair. Now I felt too content to be angry. I wonder how long that's going to last. Instead, I beamed good vibes onto everyone. What the fuck? What are you, a hippie? What are you, a Rastafarian? You going to start smoking pot next? Wearing tie-dye? What the fuck? Good vibes. Obviously, my kids were the main benefactors of my cheerier spirit. What about your husband? Has having sex with all these Chad dudes, the BBC, the big black cock, Has it improved your relationship with him? Oh, no. I don't care about that. He just pays the bills. He's a beta cuck. Yeah, I'm guessing he's a beta cuck. Obviously, my kids are the main benefactors. Oh, yeah. At first, cheating did make me feel guilty. Yeah, until you found rationalizations to explain away the guilt, right? I'd never say that having an affair was a smooth ride. At first, I felt guilty about it. I was terrified my sons would notice a change in me. Yeah. They don't have the life experience to know what the cum smells like, okay? They don't know what a broad smells like after she's banged, all right? If they did, I'm sure they'd notice. Are you kidding me? I would notice. Some evidence of my betrayal. The first time I slept with my new lover was on an early weekday afternoon. What, you don't have a job? Wow, this is great. This is great. The husband works. He pays all the bills. He gives her 2 beautiful children that she doesn't seem to appreciate all that much because she's constantly in a bad mood around them. But she doesn't want to leave because she's so comfortable. Yeah. And she, of course, has no appreciation for how good she's got it. Directly afterward, I had to go pick my kids up from school. Would my sons smell the deceit on me? Well, if they knew what fucking smelled like, they would smell something. Could they see the deception in my face? They're 8 and 9, bitch. They got no frame of reference. My sons noticed nothing. Of course not. They scurried out of their classrooms the same as always. By the way, I love how she refers to how they move. Scurry. Isn't that how you refer to rodents? I love it. I refer to my sons and their movements in the same way that you would refer to rats. I think there's probably some underlying truth to that. Just like any other day, they galloped ahead of me to the car, tumbling inside, and immediately begging me to stop at the donut shop. Yeah. How hard is it to be nice to your own kids, by the way? I am smelling major heavy-duty cunt and seeing tons of red flags flashing around this chick. Can't be nice to her own kids. Barely miserable in a marriage where she doesn't have to work. And yet, she hasn't had anything to say bad about her husband. Listen to me. If this guy was some kind of asshole, she would have told you all the bad shit he did to further justify her cheating on him. But no, she tells you how guilty she did feel. Why would she feel guilty if he was an asshole? He's not an asshole, but she's miserable regardless. Why? Because he's not a bad boy. He's a beta butt. He's the bill payer. Yeah, because she spent too many years banging those Chad cocks that treated her like crap and they were total losers. So after years of being with a beta butt good guy, what does she want? More bad boy cock. But she has no justification based upon how he acts. Because believe me, if he was a bad, nasty guy, she'd be telling you. But she's not. And she feels guilty, so he's probably a good guy. So how does she justify it? It's good for my kids! Women can always find a way to justify their bad actions and never take responsibility. Never. Oh, man. Yeah. On our route home from school each day, we drove past the donut shop. Usually I had the resolve not to stop. Yeah. But today I didn't. Yeah. I felt terrible about what I'd just done with another man behind my husband's back. Why, if he's so bad? It's a miserable marriage, right? He's not butch enough. He's too much of a pushover. He gives me too much power in hand, so I can't respect him, so I'm miserable. I can't bring myself to sleep with him, so I'm sexually frustrated because I'm not attracted to him anymore because he's such a beta wimp, even though that's why I picked him. So now I'm banging these Chad dudes to fulfill my needs, and I feel guilty. So I'm going to give my kids some donuts. And hooray, they're happy. So my cheating's a good thing. Whoa, that little fucking rationalization squirrel is fucking dying from exhaustion and run into its little fucking wheel in her head. I felt a powerful need to atone for my sins. I'd apologize to my sons with donuts. I absolved myself by sugar and fat. But I thought it was good for your kids. Oh, yeah, it's going to be so good. Her kids are going to be turning out to be big, fat slobs if she keeps this up. The boys scarfed down their treats. Yeah, they're as hedonistic as mommy, I guess. have as little self-control as you do. As I wiped the crumbs from their faces, I wished my life was as easy to clean. It would be, but you choose for it not to be. I felt soiled, because you are. And now even worse, after filling my sons' bellies with sugar and fried dough. It's not a big deal, sweetheart, okay? A treat every once in a while is not that big a deal. They should be getting a treat every once in a while. God forbid you teach them how reality actually works. They be good. They obey the rules. They get good grades. Occasionally they get a treat. Oh, no, I'm not a good enough parent to think that far ahead and to be that rational in how I raise my children. I tried to mitigate those feelings by brushing my son's teeth as soon as we reached home. Brushing your son's teeth? Who the fuck brushes their 8 and 9-year-olds' teeth? They're 8 and they're 9 and they don't know how to brush their own teeth? What? Me thinks you're infantilizing these kids a little too much, honey. Jesus Christ, she's just screams bad mother. Overprotective, helicopter mommy. Oh, boy. As soon as we reached home, if I couldn't clean my conscience, then I could clean my children's mouths. Yeah. I went after my oldest first. Went after? Oh, Lord. He wouldn't hold still long enough for me to get that toothbrush into his mouth. You're probably pushing so hard his mouth and gums are bleeding at the end. Bouncing from the sugar, he shot away from me. Oh, boy. I chased him around the room. By the time I finally caught up to him and managed to brush his teeth, I was too tired to try again with his younger brother. Too tired? How old are you? Got no energy. Jesus Christ. I think you're eating too many donuts, sweetheart. Where was their father while this was happening? Sleeping? Reading one of his conspiracy theories? Watching porn? He was doing whatever the fuck he wanted to do after a long day of work because you're out banging some dude because you have the free time and the privilege to do that while he's working and paying all the fucking bills. What does it matter where he is? It's very obvious he's the one that works and pays the bills. And he's watching porn because you're not giving him any poon, honey. You probably haven't given him poon in a long fucking while, which is why he has to watch the porn. So shut the fuck up. You don't want him to watch porn. Tell him that you need this and that. And then he'll give you this and that. Oh, but no, again, women are all about power and relationships, especially the feminazi ones like this broad. Can't tell my husband what I need, because if I do, then he'll have more hand in this relationship. And I'm a feminazi, so I have to have more hand than him. Of course. Can't let him know that I need him. He was ignoring me just like he always did. Yeah, gee, I wonder why. You're such a lovely person. You're such a lovely person with all your red flags and your feminist bullshit. I can't imagine why he would want to ignore you. I was much less nervous he would discover my cheating. Yeah, right. Because you want it to be over, right? But you don't have the balls to break up with him. You're hoping he finds out, huh? Yeah. He hadn't even mentioned the noise since we arrived home. You mean the noise of trying to brush your kid's teeth? Yeah. Because he's tired from a long day of work, you dummy. Still, guilt nagged me. Over the coming days, those feelings eventually disappeared. Yeah, you convinced yourself you shouldn't feel guilty at all because, he's a son of a bitch for not getting up and responding to the noise I'm making with these kids after he worked all day. I stopped condemning myself so harshly. My shame was replaced with a sense of tranquility and ease. Well, then why don't you leave him if you're so unhappy? Again, because it's still easier, I guess, staying there than it would be to divorce this guy, even though, he would pay alimony and child support. And my sons ultimately benefited from that. Yeah. Tell yourself whatever you need to, honey, to feel better, right? Before I had an affair, my sons were failing in school. You're a bad mother. You don't do a good job. That's all there is to it. Before I met my lover, I often received calls and emails from my eldest son's teacher about how he was disrupting the classroom. My youngest was still unable to read. So let me get this straight. Your marriage is horrible, which contributes to your bad mood, which causes you to treat your children badly. So why not just leave your husband, move into your own place, bang whoever you want, and then you'll be happy? You won't be in the environment that is making you so unhappy, which then leads you to mistreat your children. Although I think there's lots of unhappy people out there, and they don't mistreat their children, so I don't know what your excuse is. But okay, since you're a woman and you're privileged, if you're unhappy, then that's a justification for you to treat your kids like shit. Just get out. Just divorce the guy. No, I want to have my cake and eat it too. He still does some stuff around the house and picks up some of the slack, even though he works too. And I don't want to sacrifice that. And then I'd have to do everything. I see. I believe our miserable home life was affecting both my son's ability to sit still and learn. But isn't this just a form of denial? When your husband's still miserable? Wouldn't your kids be better being out of this horrible relationship and seeing the dysfunction you have between you and your husband? Wouldn't they be better off seeing somebody in a good, functional, productive relationship? Wouldn't it be better for them if you both moved on? You were honest with your husband, and then he found somebody else that made him happy, and you found somebody else that made you happy, and then your kids could see this kind of well-functioning relationship. No, because it's all about me. We can see that, sweetheart. Once I started having an affair, the disorder in our household quieted. No, it didn't. It just became easier to ignore and pretend like it doesn't exist. I was no longer so depressed, picking fights with my husband whenever I could. Now I had someone else to occupy my thoughts and fulfill my emotional needs. Yeah, instead of making that person your husband. For years, I'd been unable to give my kids the attention they needed because I was so unhappy. No. I hate this cop-out bullshit. I did the best I could. That's like saying, I have the strength to pick up 50 pounds, but I'm only going to pick up 10 pounds because it's the best I can do. Are you going to tell me that you have not, throughout your entire time as being a mother, had the capacity, the ability to be nice to your kids? Because it's a choice, and you can be, but you chose not to. See, this is the problem I have with this kind of cop-out bullshit language. You had the capacity, you had the ability to be nice to your children, you just chose not to. That's all. You made a choice. Don't tell me that's the best you can fucking do. When you can lift 50 pounds, but you're only lifting 10, and you're telling me that's the best you can do. Fuck off, bitch! It was only then, after my affair, that my eldest finally stopped acting out, and my youngest learned to read. I am not promoting cheating. Yeah, you are! Sure you are! But it did help my family, so you're promoting cheating. I hate this when people say that they're not doing exactly what they're doing. I'm not slapping you in the face. As they slap you in the face. I know the idea of cheating on one spouse is distasteful to many. Oh, but not to you, obviously. I agree. I should have just left my marriage. Even she admits she should have done. Even she admits she knows what you should have done. So how can you promote cheating, which is actually what you're doing, and how can you justify your actions, which is what you're doing, as some kind of positive, when you yourself realized you should have just left your husband? That would be the ideal, the correct, the obvious choice. But that's not the decision I made. I had an affair instead. Right, so you made the bad decision, so now you're trying to justify that bad decision. Because it's the wrong decision. My real healing didn't start. Why is it whenever women need to heal, it's always about fucking? Can anybody explain that to me? Whenever women start talking about healing, it's always sexual in nature. They always need to bang a lot of dudes, a lot of chads, to heal. You know why? Because women, they are surface, facile, shallow creatures. And the truth of the matter is that as much as these feminazi cunts talk about not wanting to be objectified and not seen as sexual objects, that's what validates them. Being seen and wanted as sexual objects. Which is why sex heals them. Yeah. My real healing didn't start until I finally left my husband, though. Oh, you finally did the right thing and left him. Well, after God knows how many months or years of cheating, he also had problems that he could only recover from after we separated. Apparently, they're not problems that are substantial enough for you to talk about, because if they were, you would use those as an excuse for your cheating. But I don't believe I would have ever mustered the courage to leave my husband if I hadn't had the affair. He made good money. He made good money. And did more than he should have around the house. By the way, if you got a wife and she's the stay-at-home mommy and has no job and you're earning all the bacon, guess what? You should have to do jack shit zero around the fucking house. I had to separate my identity from my husband's. Seems like you did that a while ago, honey. You barely talked to him, and you didn't give him any poon, and you never communicated your needs to him, which makes your misery your fault, not his. Cheating drew a line in the sand that defined where my love for my husband ended. Apparently your love for him ended quite a while ago, if it even existed at all. It marked the conclusion of our relationship. No, it didn't. That ended long ago. Again, you never really had a real relationship. After that, there was no going back. Yeah, I wonder how many years. Can you tell us how long you cheated before you decided to leave? Even though my affair was short-lived. Oh, really? How short is that? During the time it lasted, in its strange way, it helped my entire family. Demented broad. And one of the most important ways it helped us was by making me a better mother. No, it didn't make you a better mother, okay? You're a bad mother. You're a bad mother now. You're banging some other dude behind your husband's back. Taking advantage of him. Taking advantage of the father of your fucking children. What do you think your kids would think about you if they found out about this? I don't think they'd like you very much, and for good fucking reason, too. What a betrayal. Jesus Christ. Oh, it's just lovely. And they're going to find out about this someday, by the way. It's going to taint how they view women. Good fucking job. I love this. This woman, she needs to fuck another dude with a big cock, probably black. We don't know. It seems to always be the big black cocks. Always seems to be the BBC, though, that gets these women healed. Yeah. Sexual healing. Okay, yeah. Her short-lived affair made her a better mother. No, you made you a better mother. You chose to be better, and you could have chosen to be better before banging some other dude. It wasn't the banging of the other dude that made you better. It was your choice to be better, which you could have made without the BBC, you dumb bitch. What a horrible person. Unbelievable. Anyhow, let me know what you think of this story in the comments section. Was it the BBC that made her a better mommy, or was it her choice? Is she a deplorable human being? As Hillary Clinton referred to all Trump supporters as the deplorables, is she actually deplorable? Or was her cheating justified by the positive effects it supposedly had on her and her family? Minus her husband, who she obviously doesn't care about, and never did. Let me know in the comment section, and please like and subscribe to my BitChute channel if you have not already. And if you really like and appreciate the raw Rebel content that I put out for you, please consider making a donation by going to therealistphilosopher.com/donate. That is therealistphilosopher.com/donate, and consider making a donation. I could really use your help, guys, and any amount is greatly appreciated.